this is Traveling Mike. Today we're at the Cedar Knob Cemetery, and I'm going to see if there's anything interesting out here, and I'll fill you in as I find things. Okay, I'm out here looking for 3 headstones for people. This is a cemetery that was around 1876, I think, when it started, when settlers came into the area. And one of the interesting things is back in 1965, when the Corps of Engineers decided to put a dam over here on the Lampasas River, they moved 10 small country cemeteries over into this cemetery. It's still not a very big cemetery, although it is still active. So we'll look around here and see if we can find anything. Let's see what kind of interesting headstones they have. Here's one with an anchor on it, which means strength, steadfastness, and the ivy going through it, which stands for friendship and eternity also. That's a pretty interesting one. Here's a couple of odd-shaped ones over here. Let's see what these are, if they even have anything on them. Just little points. Here's like sort of an olive branch-ish emblem on it, but it's really not too much of a marking. Let's see if there's anything. Nothing on the back. You can barely, well, you can't hardly see anything. It does have a name down here, but this one you can almost see the name on it. Burke. This is one of the cemeteries that they moved over here. You can see, like on here, it has, this was one of the Keys Valley Cemetery that they moved over here. And over there was Wilkinson Valley. Let's see what. Of course, that one's an infant over here. Let's check on this side of the little driveway. This one's got some Levies and Burkes. Burkes was the family that lived in this area, that settled in here, so there's a lot of Burkes in here. Here's one with the flowers with the hand pointing to God, and you've got the lily, you've got a rose, you've got a, I'm not sure what flower that one is. Of course, this one has the gates of heaven being opened. There's a baby with the lamb, or a child. Here's one with the shaking of the hands, or saying goodbye. Those are some of the real common ones out in this area. bunch of unknown graves that they brought from Keys Valley when they moved it. And these are from the Burris Cemetery that they moved over here. Alright, we're back here in the back of the cemetery where a lot of the headstones are. A little further over there you can see the older section. So we'll wander through here. They're kind of all mixed around in here, but here's one that's got a lily on it, which means eternity. And probably a woman who was, she was like 54. There's another one shaking hands, saying goodbye to her husband. Memory of my dear husband. Some unknown and other graves from the Gotcher Cemetery that they moved over. Confederate soldier there. CSA. Susan Gotcher. A couple of native Texans. Got their Lone Stars on their headstones. Those are pretty nice. Fairly new ones. There's a little headstone here. Has the Book of Life on top. Gates of heaven opening up. I haven't seen a MWA. I'll have to look that up and see what that stands for, but that's an interesting headstone there. There's a lot of families in this old cemetery, and they all have big sections with the same family names in them. So I've noticed quite a few of Burks, Cabanas, Copelands. I think there's a lot of Copelands in here. Just have little stone markers. Don't even know who those are. Bunch of Stiegels over there. Of course, here's a Woodman of the World headstone with the tree. It has a really cool lily down at the bottom representing eternal life. Some old ones, little babies. Yeah. Sleep in Jesus is what it says. That one there. Another little baby. It says, "Weep not, father and mother, for me, for I am waiting in glory for thee." There's a big Copeland section here. And a lot of these have the dove on it. It says hope, for hope and peace. Let's see, Copeland's right here. Cathy's, a bunch of large Cathy plot. More little baby. Let me see who this one over here in the corner edge of it. W.H. Bruce. Okay, that's not who I'm looking for. You've got a couple of outhouses out here. Let's see. Stubblefield. Cathy, there's one with the drapery over it. This one has a little lamb laying on top of it. Backside here. Let's see what's over here. This one's cool. This one has gates of heaven opening to eternity, and there's like the New Jerusalem. It has the crown for God's glory. Here's another one here with the gates of heaven open, with the sun, with the hand pointing up, and the star. The star represents Christ. Of course, the finger pointing up shows the way to heaven. Let's see. Some more. Doc Jones. Couple of infants right there. Just some old stone markers. Unknown who those are. There's not a whole lot of privacy in that outhouse back there. Okay. All right, I am looking for the grave of a Hannah Myers who died in 1939, and according to the map, it's probably one of these unmarked graves right along here. So I don't have any names other than the map to go by, but that's probably where the Hannah Myers is. It shows there's 2 Myers buried here. Here's one we haven't seen before. It's got the hand of God pointing down to Sydney to take the soul to heaven. But if you look, it's also holding a chain, and one of the links has been removed. It's in the finger of God, which means the family link has been broken, and God is taking that link of the family home. There's another one here where the hand is pointing up to God. That's where leading the way up to heaven. Of course, the old fence here for the family plot. Pretty nice looking fence. All right, well, I've come close to finding a couple. I was looking for one that was a Susan Denson. I found a Denson grave. Didn't look like hers, but it might be buried next to it in the unmarked area. Let me make my way back up to the other side of the cemetery where I'm parked. And it's not a bad day for a walk in the cemetery, but let's see here. Well, I hope you enjoyed wandering through this old cemetery. It's mostly a lot of families, same families that are all buried next to each other. Some interesting old headstones. So we found a few interesting markings on some of them. But we'll stay tuned and we'll find something else at the next cemetery. Make sure you like and subscribe too. All right, let's close the gate and hit the road.